Hello friends, welcome to the learning series on the great scientists and technologists of the world. Today we are going to learn about Marie Curie, one of the most famous and renowned scientists of the 19th century. Kindly watch till the end to learn about Marie Curie. She is the first lady whose ashes are kept in the Paris Pantheon. A fitting tribute to a woman who dedicated her life to the advancement of science and its application to the welfare of all people. Marie Curie discovered polonium and radium in 1898. In 1903, she became the first woman to win the Nobel Prize award. If you are new to the channel, kindly subscribe and click on the bell button to get our subsequent videos. Let's go into the video. Mr. Sklodowska was a brilliant school teacher who lived in Warsaw, Poland. In spite of his brilliance, he was still a very poor man. On November 7, 1867, his wife gave birth to a little baby girl they called Marie. Marie went through general education like the rest of her family. But at an early age, she showed an uncanny ability to learn. Marie learned a lot from her brilliant father. And slowly, she developed into a brilliant young student herself. Marie's mother suffered from tuberculosis. When she was just 9 years old, her mother died. As she grew older, Marie developed a remarkable memory, and at the age of 16, she won a gold medal on completion of her secondary education at the Russian lycée. As soon as she was old enough, Marie took up a job as a teacher to help her father financially. At the age of 18, she took up a job as a governess. From 1885 to 1889, she selflessly worked as a governess, sending her earnings to her older sister, Bronia, to finance her medical studies in Paris. She had agreed to do this on the understanding that Bronia would, in turn, help her get an education. When her own turn came to go to the Sorbonne in Paris, Marie hit the books with a ferocious determination. In 1891, Marie went to Paris and began to follow the lectures of Paul Appel, Gabriel Lippmann, and Edmond Baudy at the Sorbonne. Marie worked late into the night in her students' quarters. She virtually lived on bread, butter, and tea since she did not have a lot of money. Not surprisingly, she graduated first in her class in 1893, creating the first of her many records. She became the first woman to get the degree called License of Science and Physics. Marie stayed in Paris and continued to study. When she was not studying, she worked in the research laboratory of a famous scientist called Lippmann. In 1894, she was placed second in the License of Mathematical Sciences exam. It was in the spring of the following year that she met Pierre Curie. From then on, Marie's life blossomed personally and professionally. Pierre Curie was a brilliant young French physicist, and he became Marie's closest friend. They were married in July 1895 and eventually had 2 daughters, Irene and Eve. Their marriage marked the start of a partnership that would change the world itself. For the scientific world, 1898 was a turning point, thanks to Pierre and Marie Curie. In July, the Curies announced the discovery of a new radioactive element, polonium. A name that Marie coined after her motherland, Poland. In December, they announced their discovery of radium. Their next step was to isolate both elements. Since they were poorly equipped and desperately short on funds, they spent the next 3 years on their research. All the hard work paid off when, in 1903, Pierre and Marie Curie jointly won the Nobel Prize in Physics for their efforts. Marie Curie became the first woman to win the award. On May 13, 1906, she was appointed to the professorship that had been left vacant by her husband's death. Yet again, Marie Curie became the first woman to teach at the Sorbonne. In 1908, she became titular professor, and in 1910, her fundamental treatise on radioactivity was published. In 1911, she achieved the dream that she and her late husband had set out to find. She managed to isolate pure radium and was awarded the Nobel Prize for Chemistry. In 1914, she saw the completion of the building of the laboratory at the Radium Institute at the University of Paris. Thanks to Marie Curie, the medical profession finally has a powerful weapon in the battle against cancer. Marie's radiation treatment soon became a common practice. And then the First World War broke out. This gave Marie Curie the ultimate challenge. After overcoming stiff resistance from the French military, Marie, assisted by her daughter Irene, spearheaded the use of X-rays in war-zone hospitals. Eventually, mobile radiological vans, nicknamed Petite Curies, were deployed along the Western Front. In the final year of the war, 20 Petite Curies and 200 radiological outposts took some 1,100,000 X-rays of wounded men. Marie Curie was now at the highest point of her fame. In 1921, accompanied by her two daughters, she made a triumphant journey to the United States. The President of the United States, Warren G. Harding, presented her with a gram of radium bought as the result of a collection among American women. Marie returned from America and started lecturing in Belgium, Brazil, Spain, and Czechoslovakia. She also had the satisfaction of seeing the Curie Foundation in Paris develop. She helped inaugurate the Warsaw Radium Institute in 1932. Her sister, Bronia, became the director of the institute. One of Marie Curie's outstanding achievements was to have understood the need to accumulate intense radioactive sources, not only for the treatment of illness but also to maintain an abundant supply for research in nuclear physics. In 1934, Marie Curie's daughter Irene and her husband Frédéric Joliot discovered artificial radioactivity. Marie Curie was never very healthy and suffered from lung problems. She often had to tear herself away from work to rest in the French countryside or at sanitariums in Switzerland. A few months after her daughter's discovery, in July 1934, Marie Curie died as a result of leukemia. To what degree she fatally exposed herself to radiation will never be known, but doctors agree that she died as a result of problems caused by the action of radiation. In 1995, Marie Curie created her final record. She became the first woman to have her ashes enshrined in the Pantheon in Paris. This is a fitting tribute to a woman who spent most of her life dedicated to science and its use for the well-being of all humankind. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family.